Hello, this is the Hillbilly Halfwit here today, and we're doing a short vid of how the Welsh Government has actually brought out some good news for TB in Wales. Are they actually listening, and are they actually scared of us now? I think they've realised that the farming community has turned on them, they've lost it. So this is actually good news for TB in Wales. So if you haven't already, please comment, rate and subscribe and share and press that like button and go on to my Facebook page and look for the Hillbilly Halfwit, and you can buy some caps or something like that if you want to, or just go on there to see some videos in case this channel gets closed down. So let's get on. This is before we go any further though. Vaughan Gethin has sacked this lady, Minister Hannah Blythyn, from his government. Welsh First Minister Vaughan Gethin has sacked a minister alleging she leaked to the media. The leak highlighted he potentially lied to the COVID inquiry. She denies any leak. He also received dodgy funding helping to become leader, allegedly, as I've shown in previous videos. So she sent the message to the COVID inquiry, allegedly, that proved that he deleted all his messages. And in one of the messages, he actually says he's deleted them. So there we are. That's that before we go any further. So it's a lovely place, Corruption Bay, isn't it? Right, this is quite a serious one, and it's good for the farming community. This is off the Welsh Government website, a press release. This has happened today. And if you don't know, if you're not a farmer, if you have TB on your farm, up until today, they were basically coming there and shooting cattle pregnant in your farmyard. So if their cow was heavily pregnant, they were shooting the cow with a live calf inside on the yard. And if you go onto YouTube, you'll see this all happening. It's hard to believe this was all happening. It's absolute nuts. Well, this guy here has come into Cabinet Secretary Hugh Irranca-Davies, and I will say I'm no fan of him, but at least something is being done. This has been changed immediately. So we'll read this because I don't mind saying things that happen that are good for farming and are good decisions. So this is immediate changes to be made to on-farm slaughter. The outcomes of recommendations from the Bovine TB Technical Advisory Group first meeting are announced today. Can you believe that up until today, all the people deciding this thought this was a good idea? It's mad, isn't it? The TAG's inaugural meeting was held on the 17th of April with a priority to discuss and produce advice regarding the current on-farm slaughter of TB reactors. Now, if you see here in this next line, I've had to put a square around that word, and I'm going to change it to Kermit from now on. So when I'm saying the word that's in the box, I'll say Kermit, because they are putting warnings under my videos if I say that word in the box. All right? The Cabinet Secretary to Kermit and Rural Affairs, Hugh Irranca-Davies, has accepted the group's recommendations in full. Immediate changes will now be made to on-farm slaughter policy, with the aim of reducing numbers of cattle slaughtered on farm in Wales. The main reasons cattle may be slaughtered on farm for TB purposes are either because they are not able to travel on welfare grounds, particularly if in late pregnancy, or as a consequence of medicine withdrawal periods. Farmers will be able to choose to delay the removal of a cow or heifer in the last 60 days of pregnancy and animals that have given birth in the previous 7 days, subject to biosecurity conditions to protect other cattle in the herd. Equally, for there to be limited flexibility to isolate and delay removal if within a few days of the end of a medicine withdrawal period on a case-by-case basis. That is a good thing. In addition, Welsh Government, NFU Cymru, Farmers Union of Wales and other relevant representatives from the cattle sector will set up an industry-led partnership working group, which will continue to look at how on-farm slaughter for different reasons and its impacts can be misused, but can be minimized through co-design and delivery. To see the direct impact of TB breakdown on farm families, the Rural Affairs Secretary recently visited Radda Farm, Usk, which had been impacted by TB breakdown. In addition to the family, the Rural Affairs Secretary met with farming unions and vets during the visit to get an opportunity to listen to a range of views relating to TB and on-farm slaughter. The Cabinet Secretary said, "We recognise the devastation a TB breakdown brings to a farming family and business. The slaughter of cattle on farm can be particularly distressing to those who witness it and can have a detrimental impact on farmers and farm workers' well-being and mental health. Recognising the impact on farmers, their families and their businesses, it is at the forefront of my mind. I'd like to thank the TAG for working at pace to deliver these recommendations on such a sensitive subject. We can now start to work on exploring where positive changes can be made to the TB programme." That is all good. I'd like to thank, we cannot eradicate TB alone. Partnership working with farmers and vets is crucial to reach the shared goal of a TB-free Wales. That is the key. And as I told you in my last video, the people who were advising before this were basically using TB and may still be using TB as a way to reduce cattle in Wales because they use a different size lump. The lump that you test in Wales is 1 millimetre smaller than the lump you test in the UK. So if a cow in the UK, the same cow was tested in the UK and they measured that lump and it was not got TB, if that was tested on the same day in Wales, that same cow, and it was 1 millimetre smaller difference, even though it was the same size, it would be classed as having TB, but not in the UK. That's how mad this all is. But I give them some props to this. At least they've changed something. This is quite an uplifting one for me today because, as you know, I'm got a downer on the Welsh Government most of the time. But to be fair to this guy, I know the election's coming, but at least something has changed because the farming community has been left really in the lurch up until the last month. Now, is it a plan just to get the votes? It probably all is, but at least something has been done, especially with this TB thing. They were just shooting animals that were pregnant on the farmyard, and it's disgusting, to be honest. So please comment, rate and subscribe and share this stuff out there. And as usual, thank you very much for watching, peeps. All the best. Gaz. Ta-da!